The novelty search report is very important in the sense that it underpins the first criteria that's used for patenting. How new is the invention? The results of the prior art search will also be used to provide the legal opinion of patentability. And that's an important step to consider before actually an inventor wants to go and draft a patent application, not only because of the costs involved, but because of the time, engagement, and what it implies for the inventor in the longer term. The advice on copyright and computer-implemented inventions is becoming more and more important because we have a lot of developers, a lot of young entrepreneurs who are moving into the IT area and who make use of software to develop new applications, mobile apps or others, which require this type of consideration, especially if they want to look at a market that's beyond Mauritius, going into the region and if not international. About 12 inventors have already benefited from our services, and these have covered mechanical devices, IT-based innovations, construction industry, for example. What are the sort of challenges that are faced? Awareness is something that still needs to be strengthened. Many people have notions of intellectual property, but they don't really understand what are the implications for their businesses, for their work. There's also a perception that patenting is very costly. It's only for high tech. That's not true. It can apply to other areas that are not necessarily high tech, but provided they meet the criteria of novelty, having that inventive step, and importantly, if they have a commercial application. So they should be seen rather as a business investment instead of a cost. And for researchers, there's also very often the question that they ask themselves is whether they publish first or whether they go and file a patent. In fact, you can do both. You can publish and you can patent, but so long as you meet certain time frames and you respect the issue of novelty. Some other challenge also that needs to be addressed is the absence of a regional platform for intellectual property in the region. Mauritius has an IP office. Réunion has one. Madagascar has one, such as Seychelles also. But there is a need for closer interaction between these offices so that anyone who's inventing locally can find easy access into markets in these different countries. We've talked a lot about artificial intelligence. This is coming more and more often in all discussions. There are a lot of capabilities that are associated with that, including, for example, ChatGPT. Arguments about whether this is actually a threat to creators or whether this can be seen as a tool that will augment their work. In this example, there was a piece of artwork that was created. It was called A Recent Entrance to Paradise. And the creator wanted to find copyright protection for this, but that went to the courts in the US, and they denied copyright protection because they said you need to have a person behind that creativity. Even if it's a computer working under instructions to create some text, to create an artistic work, they need to see that personal involvement to be able to grant copyright. This is another example of a famous portrait that was a winner in the Sony World Photography Awards. When the awards were being given, the winner came to the platform, but then denied receiving the prize because then he said this was in fact created by artificial intelligence. And just to explain a little bit more about this, although there was a panel, there were judges, they had not been able to determine that this was an AI-generated image. So that shows how issues about AI-generated material is becoming an issue in copyright. And these are the challenges that are going to be increasingly considered under intellectual property. Our services are open to everyone. Inventors, entrepreneurs, researchers, students, anyone who has creative ideas, anyone who's inventing, please feel free to come discuss with us. We'll see how much we can help you and bring you forward in this pathway on intellectual property. Thank you.